Alright, who's the most outrageous Mortal Kombat character that could be added to a Street Fighter roster? I think we might have found it. Let's redesign Johnny Cage as his own original Street Fighter character, worthy of being Hollywood's greatest action hero. Okay, Johnny Cage is a fascinating character for Street Fighter. The idea of a movie star or an action star is not necessarily a unique one to Street Fighter, but a character his level of arrogance, cockiness, and downright obscene behavior has never really been a thing for Street Fighter, at least not like this. But the key to all of this is for him to be an original character, so now we're assuming he doesn't exist in Mortal Kombat, but the essence of that character needs to stay intact here. But first things first, where in the hell does Johnny Cage even fit in the series? For the perfect point in Street Fighter's history to drop Johnny in, I immediately landed on two eras of Street Fighter, the Street Fighter Alpha series and Street Fighter 6. He fits very well in both, but because I'm doing the redrawing for the design here, he's going into Alpha. Just for logistics sake, it's easier on me here, though him in Street Fighter 6 would be kinda cool. Also introducing a really young, almost 18 to 19-year-old Johnny Cage that is almost like an action movie prodigy would fit quite nicely in the Alpha series and set him up for potential character growth down the road as he gets older. Maybe.
Oh, I got eyes, brother. As younger you, I saw him. You swear to tap that at the earliest opportunity.
Also entertaining the idea that maybe Shado would be manipulating the media and would want to use Johnny Cage's fame to their advantage would be an interesting monkey wrench in his story. Being honest, his story wouldn't be that different from Fei Long's in that regard, I guess. Not saying he would actually join Bison, but he might at least get an offer made to him. And the idea of Johnny Cage wanting to prove himself in the World Warrior tournament makes a lot of sense as well. As far as rivalries go, characters in Shado like Balrog or Vega would make perfect sense here. Also, Fei Long, considering that they have similar stories, would make an interesting rivalry here as well, almost as competing action stars. This would be the outright closest we'd ever see of Jean-Claude Van Damme versus Bruce Lee. And pretty much every female character in Street Fighter Alpha would make a good rival for Johnny Cage. There's no way that he wouldn't holler at every single one of them. Though being honest, I feel like Chun-Li being an Interpol agent that would need to keep an eye on him and keep him safe, especially if he's a Shado target that's competing in the World Warrior tournament, she would have to be a specific target of Johnny Cage's as well. But the rivalry for Johnny would have to be the legend himself. Of course, I'm talking about Dan. I couldn't even begin to imagine what their dynamic or character interactions would be like. Not a serious moment to be had between these two if they ever cross paths. Though the two of them themselves would be dead serious. Probably two of the biggest comic relief characters in Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter history would almost be a match made in heaven. Or hell, depending on who's looking at it.
Dad always said, hungry people eat lunch. Humble people serve it. Dad was an asshole.
Now his actual look. So right away, the Street Fighter Alpha era had a very colorful look and was pretty anime inspired. This was the dilemma I found myself having with the Katana design when I put her in the Street Fighter Alpha series. Also check that video out after you finish this one. But because I'm working on Johnny, the colorful anime inspired art style works perfect here. First of all, I used his young Mortal Kombat 11 outfit as an inspiration here. It's the late 80s and Johnny would still need to look like he's a cool action star of the era. Kinda wouldn't be too hard, I just refused to give him a mullet. I gave him a warm-up jacket and kept the purplish blue feel from his MK11 look, and I also took his MK pants, specifically his ones from MK3 and Trilogy, and made them into track pants, and I gave him knockoff J's as well. I also couldn't really think of many Street Fighter characters that by default wore shades every time they fought, so that was kind of a no-brainer as well. His design actually looks like the perfect Street Fighter character, but if I'm being honest, he still looks no different from his MK counterparts, so he almost could fit in any game the way he looks. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Now for his stage design. Immediately I thought that a Johnny Cage stage should have a movie premiere. That's the perfect setting that I could think of for him. I'm guessing at this point in time Ninja Mime would be debuting at the box office. I don't think the world is ready for Citizen Cage just yet. I wanted something anime looking that also looked like it was a Chinatown Hollywood premiere for players to fight in. Just little things that stick to the Street Fighter feel while sort of screaming Johnny Cage at you. But the idea of scrolling back and forth across the stage as people are like taking glamour shots of actors and actresses at the premiere would kinda be a cool idea for a stage design here. And now his moveset, of which I'm not changing anything. You can debate whether or not Johnny Cage qualifies as a Shado, but one thing's for sure, his moveset definitely fits a Street Fighter game. Not gonna lie, part of me feels like Johnny Cage in Street Fighter would resemble Deadpool in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. The only thing he would really need to set him apart is his super, and I'll let y'all decide in the comments what his super would actually look like if you came up with one. Personally, the only thing I would change about Johnny's moveset is the name of his Shadow uppercut. I think I'd just have him scream something ridiculous like maybe that's too much. Then again, no, it's not. Johnny Cage to me would be the perfect Mortal Kombat character to exist in the Street Fighter timeline. His brash charm would be perfect for how stylish that game feels, or at least that whole series of games. Of course, being Alpha, Alpha 2, and Alpha 3. The design tweaks I made doesn't seem too off for Johnny Cage, and his fans wouldn't feel let down from seeing him in this particular environment. I hope. I'm still waiting for the Johnny Cage vs. Dan Hibiki movie to drop, or Johnny Cage vs. Fei Long. Either way, let me know if you think Johnny would blend in well with the Alpha series roster. I don't know what crossovers I might come up with next. Something crazy like Goku and Tekken, or Kazuya and Fatal Fury. Who knows? In any event, like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And you all have a good one. And I'm out.